Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Riff podcast. My name is Bill Markey,
And my name is Thomas Angelo.
and today we're talking about Roofman, the latest film starring Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Ben Mendelsohn. I can't wait to talk about him.
Yeah, little
My
surprise.
guy, Lakeith Stanfield, Peter Dinklage,
Lakeith
amongst
Stanfield, my guy. I love
we're gonna.
Lakeith.
Oh yeah, I thought about you when he popped up. Amongst a litany of a few other individuals.
Peter Dinklage, Juno
Yep.
Temple in a small role. I don't know. This is a crazy cast.
Yeah. This movie directed and screenplay by Derek. I'm going to go for it. See a Fran. See, anyway.
Usually CI is
And
I think maybe like Keanu France. I don't know.
Xian France. Oh yeah, Xian France. That's the way I wrote it.
Yeah.
Also screenplay by Kurt Gunn. This movie is produced by High Frequency and about 3 million other production companies. This was like
I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, Bill would totally make a production company's joke right now. A bunch of them.
This is like Late Night with the Devil. It just wouldn't end.
That was hilarious.
Anyway,
but also a little note just to throw in here is
yeah.
this director also did a couple of other notable movies like The Sound of Metal, which is about that deaf drummer. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Really good movie. And the one of Ryan Gosling, The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, that's on my list.
Yeah. He's done some notable films, just so you know.
Okay. This movie's been distributed by Paramount and Miramax. It just came out. Wait a minute. It came out this past week, right?
Yeah. The release date, if you look online, it will usually give you a film festival release. So.
Oh, okay. Because I just realized I just wrote down the film festival release. Okay, which was September.
Yeah.
But this movie just came out October 10th. I just looked at it to make sure I had the right movie.
No, you're good. Like if you also like sometimes when you're looking on Letterboxd and things such as that, Letterboxd actually goes by film festival release date. So when you look at like Anora and stuff, it looks like it's way earlier than it should be.
I actually wasn't. I was just going by Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But this film is 126 minutes. Its budget was 17 to 19 million. It's made about 8. In terms of what this movie's about, it's based on a true story. After escaping prison, former soldier and pro thief Jeffrey Manchester finds a hideout in a Toys R Us for months on end, 6 months, I believe, as he plans to escape to another country, but he falls in love and temptation hits. This movie, before we get into it, some ratings. It's a 7.2 on IMDb. It's an 83% on Fandango, 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3.6 on Letterboxd. Your text is absolutely how I feel about one of your messages.
Which one?
Sleeper hit of the year.
Oh yeah, I'm not even. We said that about Caught Stealing too.
Yeah,
but I'm even higher on this film than I was on Caught Stealing.
Me too.
This felt like a really surprise out of nowhere. Like, whoa, this was like really engaging. Like out of nowhere. Yep. Like, I really liked it. And
me too.
One of the odd things about this film is the first 30 minutes, I couldn't connect to it. I don't know about you. I was struggling to connect. It felt like it was like really, it was going fast. It was like odd. There was a lot of different tones. There was comedy. There was this lightness, but then there was this prevailing like sense of dread and darkness, like looming. Yeah. And, obviously the comedy is by default kind of brought by Channing. The way we even recognize him as a public figure and as an actor, usually connected to comedy, right?
Yep.
This is a much more nuanced character than just, he's a light person. And what's great is the opening scene, obviously we're in our non-spoiler review, but the opening scene establishes who he is as a person.
Yes, 100%.
The nuance to his criminalness, his life of criminal, whatever, a crime.
Yeah,
life of criminal. That's the fucking quote of today's episode.
Life of criminal.
That's how you could tell we've recorded 2 podcasts before this.
Yeah,
but his life of crime is defined by this weird nuance of who he is as a person, and I think that's the real meat on the bone of this film is the complexity of Jeffrey as a character and as a human being. Like and
100%. Yeah.
There's something to Channing's performance here that feels really special.
Do you know what this movie reminds me of? There's one movie that kept coming to mind. Again, I'm not saying this like it's the exact type of thing, more so the character and the performance where this guy's not like a good guy, but he's not a bad guy either. like he's breaking the law heavily,
Heavily,
but
but he's really a good-hearted human being.
and he's clever. This reminded me of Catch Me If You Can,
Yes.
and the way that Leo just finds one way after another to just keep on the move, and you're like, this is going to catch up to you. You're getting cocky, you're getting comfortable,
So
and
there
then
was a
he
lot of
gets
points
caught.
in my head where it's like there was like, oh my god, like I don't know if he's like planning this right. Like this movie's
Yeah.
surprisingly tense. Shout out to
Yes.
the editing by Jim Henson and Ron Patar, I think it is. This movie's stupendously edited. It is edited in such a way where it's like it feels, every shot feels so tense. There's a shot,
Yes.
there's a series of shots where Jeffrey's walking around a truck to avoid being seen.
Great
And
scene.
it's just, it feels so tense. There's so
Yeah.
many scenes in the Toys R Us that feel tense. This is the oddity of the film, of it being like a criminal who breaks into McDonald's through the roof, and then this whole other plot line of living in a Toys R Us, which there's two things about that I want to mention. One, it felt like this is the movie version of, I don't know if you remember in like the early 2010s, like the 24-hour challenge, where people would try and stay in places overnight, like public places, like the trampoline parks or like grocery
No,
stores.
I didn't know.
This was like when
No.
I was a kid, there was the
I didn't know it was a
24-hour
thing.
challenge. So like seeing this like come to life in a movie, I'm like, oh my God, this is like my childhood. Even on top of that, seeing them production design wise recreate a Toys R Us this perfectly, because this was a recreation. You know, Toys R Us doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore.
There's only one.
Yeah, or like I think they just
No, I'm
opened
sorry. No,
another
there
one.
are some in other countries. United States, they're gone.
Yeah, but Toys R Us as we know it does not exist anymore. This movie
Yeah.
shows us as we know it, and it was like, oh my God, this is back to my childhood when I would like go there to get Pokemon
Yeah.
cards and video games. And I'm like, I miss Toys R Us.
I'd still be shopping there because I mean,
Yeah.
it's people who do know me. I mean, I
Oh
have
yeah, there you go.
that's only just part of it.
Yeah,
so,
for people listening to audio, Bill just showed all of his toys.
no, some of them. That's the sad part. I only showed. Oh yeah, that's true on YouTube. We're on Spotify mainly, but no, yeah, I showed some of my collection. Yeah, but that brought me back. Like, and the layout of it, the feel, the employees look like they hate working there. Like, you know, like
And it's
even the display when you'd walk in, it'd be like the opening display of like the movie that just came out, and like they'd have like in this case it was Christmas,
yeah.
and like the way that the big thing and is the arch. Yeah.
I wanna compare this to a movie we just reviewed earlier, Anemone, where it's like
Yeah.
I couldn't connect to Roofman in the first 30 minutes. I was having trouble connecting. The only reason I was connecting was because it was Channing Tatum, and I love Channing Tatum, and it was like, okay, I can connect to him as an actor, but I'm not connecting to Jeffrey as a character or this plot yet. And what this movie does that Anemone doesn't really do properly, in my opinion, is like you look at Anemone and it's like the technical aspects and style are crazy and insane. This movie is much more subdued style wise. It's very, you know, classic, normal. But it's the way that this plot and this character of Jeffrey unravels as the story goes on. It's like an onion a little bit. It's this unraveling of who he is and what he needs to contribute to society, and like how he's trying to find his identity and all these other things that are at stake. It was very, very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. Some other things I want to highlight: the cinematography. Again, there's nothing to like really write home about, but the cinematographer, I think his name is Andrzej Perkit, or I could be really botching that. He actually was the cinematographer. I believe the cinematographer on the episode of Succession, Whose Side Are You On? The boardroom meeting episode in season 1.
Where Jeremy Strong tries to get a vote against him.
Yes.
Okay.
I think when I was doing research into this guy as a cinematographer, I think he did that episode and a couple other episodes of Succession, like the Kill List one in season 4 when they go to
Yeah.
meet Madsen and everything. Yeah. So this cinematographer has a real eye for simple camera work that tells a deeper story. You know, and I could
That
tell
makes
there
sense.
was a lot of zoom-ins in this movie that really worked. Particularly one during a choir scene, which I think is like Channing Tatum's best acting.
Yes, and him and like Kirsten Dunst are exchanging looks.
Yeah, and even talking about Kirsten Dunst, this is also one of my favorite performances by her. I'd say this is easily my favorite performance by Channing. This is the most nuanced he's ever had to go into acting, I think.
Yeah,
I would really
yeah,
argue that it's so good. But Kirsten's character, especially the way I love the way that she was written. She's so powerful and so forward and feels so human,
yeah. She really does.
but I love how forward her character is. Like I really enjoyed that. That was a really like interesting aspect to her character, how forward she was and how much power she held in the scenes, you
Yeah,
know? Cuz that made, Jeffrey hiding this lie from her, it made it so much more impactful because the stakes were really there. You felt the
yeah.
relationship between the two.
I felt the more that he was getting like in deeper, like when he had whatever. I'm nowhere in the spoiler free, but when he was making certain decisions that I mean, every decision he was making was going to affect her, and it was affecting me.
Mhm.
Where I'm just like, oh my god, dude, come on, like, don't do this because this is going to just tear her and these, her kids apart.
Mhm.
Like, it's very much a movie where I was watching it in the way, not comparing the movies, but I was frustrated for the character, like Sandler in Uncut Gems, or where I'm like, no, stop, 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 stop. It's just like there's gotta be a better way,
It,
like and you're just like you're gonna hurt so many fucking people,
it's
like
just one of those movies that like it has so much heart and levity into it, but underneath it all is this like brewing sense of dread, intensity, and
yep,
darkness, where
yeah,
it's like it makes it so much more like interesting. Where it's like you have a comedic actor like Channing, but there's the story's really dark when you think about it. It's upsetting when you
there's
really think about it.
I wouldn't compare these movies like as if they're the same, but it's got the weird tones of like Observe and Report with Seth Rogen,
Hmm.
where it's like it's a dark comedy, and there's scenes where you're laughing out loud, and then there's scenes where you're like, "Oh, this is fucked up."
This is disturbing. There was one scene that like kind of almost upset me a little bit. Like it was like
Ooh,
we can get into that later. It
I think I
was
know what scene. All right, go keep going. Sorry.
I
Oh,
just I
let me say, nice surprise. Can I just say,
yeah.
I am a big Ben Mendelsohn fan,
Hmm.
and when he popped up, I was like, I want to
Very
like look.
little role, but super
He's,
fun
he's
performance.
great.
Yeah.
Like this cast is phenomenal. Like anytime somebody is on screen, they own it for the period of time that they have it.
Like
Like,
Lakeith Stanfield's just doing Lakeith Stanfield.
oh,
Like
he's
it's
so good in this
I know
movie.
he's doing what he does best, and he's playing a slimy kind of know-it-all, you know,
But he's got heart
but a lot of
because
heart,
he
a
even
lot of
tells me, he
heart.
goes, "You're gonna hurt other people, man. Don't do this." Like he's about his money, but he's got
Yes,
heart.
but he's the character who knows what's going on.
Yes. And he knows how to reach. Like Channing Tatum can fool everybody.
Hmm.
He can fool the Keith Stanfield.
Yeah, I really like that their dynamic. It was like one
Yeah.
of the more interesting ones for Lakeith
Yep.
having such little screen time in the film.
But he owns it. And like, yeah, even June, like you said, Juno Temple, when she's there,
Small
she
little
has
role,
a,
yeah.
yeah, and her nipples hanging out.
Yeah,
You're like, all right, I don't know what that's about.
everyone provides a little sense of, like light into this movie.
Yes,
It, it
100%.
it works really well as a full complete package, but it's just the way I want to sell you on this film is how it feels like four different movies in one, but it
It
works.
does.
It really works.
Even the amount of time they spend in the beginning with
Hmm.
him, not a spoiler, like we literally just said this is what the movie's about, with him in prison.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the movie was actually starting like with him getting caught, because I knew he got caught in real life. With him getting caught, then they were going to backtrack.
Hmm.
When they show him escape, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, he
Then
went to prison and escaped,
then it
and then
makes
went
you think
back
like
to prison?
then it makes you think once this movie ends, you're just thinking in your head like this is the most insane true story ever.
Yeah.
Like how it's all over the place. It's like whoa.
This
But
also like is eye-opening for our justice system, because this guy is serving like what, 500 years, and there's people who do like way worse and have gotten way
they
less.
get him on the kidnapping charges and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where like they there's a line in the movie where he's like, we know you broke into other places. We can't really charge you upon that, so we're gonna get you on the kidnapping.
Kidnapping. I mean, I know he was also got a lot of years for the escape and whatnot, but
Hmm.
Yeah, you're so right when you describe this movie. Like it does feel like multiple different movies happening at once, but it all
It
works.
works really well.
It
The
all fucking
balance of the
works.
tones really works. And I thought it almost wasn't because Channing's such a comedic performer, but he makes a great turn into this movie, into like something a lot deeper and nuanced, and I want to
Yeah.
see more of in his career going forward. Like this was such a positive and interesting step in Channing's career as an actor.
He made a lot more well, and we talked about it during the choir scene, but there's other scenes too where like really good facials where like you can just see what he's thinking. Like even when Lakeith delivers some news at the end that Channing doesn't want, where not a big deal, but he just says, you got to leave tomorrow. And you could just, the way he delivers, he's like, I can't just, say goodbye to somebody or leave tonight. Like you could just, it feels so real,
Yeah.
like his performance. Like
You
you
want to
could
you want
just
to
see
move in
it.
this? You want to move into spoilers?
Yeah, we can move into
I just
spoilers.
I just
Yeah.
I want to sell people upon the fact that like this is a surprise movie. I think it really sneaks up on you. I'd say about like an hour and a half into the film is where, not even like an hour in, is where this movie sneaks up on you. Once you learn what the plot of this movie really is about, that's when I was like fully hooked and invested in. And
Yeah.
that's why I think this type of unraveling plot like we have here works better here than it does in a film like Anemone, where it's like you really only learn the meat and potatoes of the plot at the very end.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of my point, but I really recommend they go see this one in theaters because I think it's going to be one that sneaks up on a lot of people.
And I mean, I hope it, I do think this is going to be like a word of mouth where like it'll have a strong,
Oh, I don't know why I don't feel that way about this movie. I feel like the marketing really wasn't there. There wasn't a lot of people talking about it.
I mean, I do know people when I would tell clients of mine, I was like, Roofman, they go, Channing Tatum. They're, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do know
Yeah,
people who were
this
certainly aware.
again, I don't know how this one's gonna do per se.
Yeah.
I don't know how it did at the box office this weekend. Do you know? Do you have those numbers?
I believe it was 8 million on a 17 to 19 million dollar budget.
Okay, so we can. I mean, give it 2 weeks. Maybe it can make it. Maybe. Probably not, but
Yeah. They made 8 on 17 to 19. So,
yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I hope so. But like, this is a really solid film, and it's it really snuck up on me how
it did. Yeah.
it snuck up on me. It snuck up on me how devastating this story is
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, and how dark it is. So I really recommend this one for you guys to go see in theaters. But now we're gonna move into spoilers. So click off if you have not seen Roofman.
Since you were alluding to it, I do want to start off because I want to see if it's the same thing that I did, the way I interpret it. You were saying there's one scene in particular where you
You
were
want me to
really
say it?
tense. Yeah.
So it's when he actually robs the Toys R Us, and
Okay.
as soon as he hits the guy with the gun, like I felt like my heart drop. I was like, "Whoa, this took a deeper turn." And there's a shot of him. Well, there's really two scenes that kind of got me, but this one really got me because there's a shot of him just watching the aftermath of everything he did, and he sees the blood dripping out of the guy's mouth, and he sees Peter Dinklage's character Mitch like falling into the presence, like while like he
Yeah.
has a thing in his eyes, and the guy on the floor keeps saying that he's a bully. Like you're just a
That was
bully.
like that guy's moment.
Yeah.
The moment that they kept building him up to, but
Because
he did it
he
to,
couldn't stand up to anybody, but he stands up to like that was a great little
yeah.
like small arc. But that entire scene of where he's like, okay, I'm gonna call 911, and even in the background, the song "Come All Ye Faithful" is playing as he's just
Yeah.
watching the destruction of everything he just did, and and I could feel it in Channing's performance. He's like, this isn't who I am, you
Yeah.
know. And then how even more devastating that scene becomes when he turns around and Lee, played by Kirsten Dunst, is there, and they really focus on her staring him in the eyes.
Yeah.
They
Like she's like she
they
knows who that
they
is.
make it known that she knows who that is, and
100%.
but visually,
Yeah.
you know, and that was a really powerful moment. But that entire scene, it really got me. You know, it really got me, and it's one of those things that the movie does well, balancing tones where the idea of the thing exploding in Peter Dinklage's face is funny. You know, it's
Yeah.
almost played for comedy, but then 2 minutes later they show another shot of it and it's dark. You know,
Like they remind you, like you may have laughed at this, but this is the reality of
Yeah,
it.
like the cops chasing him through his daughter's birthday party in the beginning.
Yeah,
It almost is played for laughs, but then there's the shot of him kind of looking up at his daughter, looking down at him,
right.
and there's
Yeah,
this
they do.
layer of
It's like
darkness.
they bring you back down to
They bring
reality.
it back down to reality. This movie's really, really good at doing that.
The scene that was making me really, really tense is when he goes to rob the gun store and he lands in the wrong, the like the
Oh,
Chinese place next
that
door.
actually. So there was only really interesting theater experience. I went at 10:15 last night.
Yeah.
So it was a late showing, and there's only one other guy in there with me, and he sat like one or two rows in front of me. And me and him were just every time there was like we laughed at all the same moments.
Yeah.
And
That scene made me
when he
tense.
drops into the tanning salon instead of
Yeah.
the thing,
Danny Sloan. Yeah.
it it's from outside. He's just like fuck. Like it's funny, but then the scene progressively does get more tense as he breaks in and the alarms are going off, and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
it's so good at balancing tone. It's so good. This is one of the best examples of balancing tone I've seen in a very long time.
It does seem like the more we talk about it, this movie does give you something funny, but then it takes a shift to really show you well, this is the true nature of this.
Yeah,
Like it's really not funny.
it's not.
Like
It's really
yeah,
not.
like the reality
Toys
of
R
it
Us,
is not
the
funny.
Toys R Us scene like really hit me upon that.
You know what I loved about that scene, and it
Mhm.
was so subtle to where it happens. I mean, it's given to us front and center, but it still is kind of like off in the background. Is um when Channing Tatum takes off after robbing the Toys R Us, and the cops are there, and the cops are walking around. It's like different cuts of them looking for him. There's a song playing in the back, and again, it is right there, but it's still subtle. Is you see this? I don't know if the word is coming together or reconciliation between Peter Dinklage and
And
the
the guy,
employee,
yeah,
and then
yes,
Peter Dinklage is very subtly going, and you should have seen him. He called him a bully,
yeah.
and he stood up to him. And it's like you're like, what a cool way for them to show an evolution. There wasn't this moment where he's like, "You were in my respect," or "You
It
did
feels
that." Like,
natural. It feels natural.
yeah,
It
it
feels
feels
very
so
natural.
natural.
But I don't know about you, but I had this tense feeling in my stomach when they were finding his lair in the Toys R Us, which I love how like design and like little details wise, it evolves as the time is going on. And like
Mhm.
even seasonally, like he put little lights up in there during Christmas
Oh, like
and
that.
things like
Yes,
that. Like
yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah,
And watching him like put the baby, like the whole like Home Alone aspect of it, where he's like putting the cameras up and listening in,
yeah.
changing Lee's like work schedule, like things like that. Like that was awesome. Like that was such a fun aspect of the movie. But when you really think about it, it's still dark. Like it's fucked up.
That's where it reminded me of Catch Me If You Can. Is like you're cheering for this guy.
Yeah.
He's not at his core a bad individual, and you're like impressed by his cleverness, but at the same time you're like, oh, this is still not right.
Mm-mm.
Like what he's doing.
No.
Like this is still breaking. Like in Roofman, he breaks the law more than Leo does in terms of like harming people and whatnot, but or putting lives at like true risk. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like it reminded me of that, like you're this shiftiness that the two of them had.
Yeah.
Like in the way that Catch Me If You Can, again, like it's got a lot of comedy, but then it's got scenes that just like bring it right back down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I loved about this movie.
Well, let's talk about the choir scene because that was my favorite like sense of visual storytelling in the movie.
Yeah.
The way it holds on him and like he's holding back the tears and everything, it hurt my soul.
Because
Like
that's
that's
just it's all hitting him now.
it's all
right?
hitting
Like
him.
just
Yeah, it is
yeah.
all hitting him in that moment, but it's this idea of like every moment in his life is like led up to this, and he even talks about that at one point, like the butterfly effect. But that scene like has so much weight to it, like so much weight of like how he's just looking and he's just realizing everything. It's one of those like character catharsis moments that just works
Yeah.
really well, and like the song in the background and
Isn't
it
she
hurts my
crying
heart.
too?
It's almost like in her, she's almost recognizing like this isn't gonna work out either.
Right. Like because they're looking at each other and they cut to her and her eyes are getting all like,
Mm-hmm.
weepy eyed and whatnot.
When she calls him as he's driving to the airport, did you know it was a setup?
100%.
So
Yeah,
when
I'm not trying to say that as if
because the
like
movie
look at me,
does
but
try and bait you by having the scene of her telling the cops that she didn't recognize him. But earlier when she does see him during the Toys R Us robbery, they really make it apparent that she's
yeah.
seeing his eyes. And
No,
she
that didn't
knows.
mean shit to me that she said that to the cops. I
Yeah, I
had a
know.
feeling
As,
we only heard that one part. Maybe a minute later, she went, "I'm sorry, I can't do this." Yes, I know who that was.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those
exactly.
things, and the way that she's like, "I love you," because like you really feel that she does love him.
Yeah,
It's one of those like tragic just downfalls, and but like as he's driving away and like he's thinking about it, you just know in his nature he has to go back. Like he's gonna go back.
the thing that I feel like is where she knew I'll get him to come is when she said, "The girls want to see you."
Hmm.
Like he had just finally earned both of them. Like to where now the older daughter was a fan of him.
Even watching him like systematically take over the family, like
Yeah,
first with Lee and then the little girl, and then the car scene with the older one. Like you could see how he was like he's so clever that he was like taking like subconsciously taking over, you know? And then you really feel that in the scene where he's like, who wants to apologize first? Okay, who's gonna apologize first? You know?
yeah. But genuinely though, like this,
There's a genuineness to it, but it's like his subconscious clever brain, you know?
right, exactly. Oh no, 100%. But and that's what I loved about it, is because when he was doing things like getting closer with them, like establishing a relationship with the older girl, I never lost sight of like, fuck, man, like this isn't going to work out
It's not
because of
gonna
what he's
last.
doing. So it was hurting. It was like bothering me for the women, like for Kirsten Dunst and her daughters. I was like, they have
Because
no
she's
idea
such a
what's.
good natured person and she's so strong and so forward and so
Yeah,
secure of herself. Like even where she is at her place in her life, like it's not the best, but like she's so secure of herself. Like I really like
yeah.
it. She's so happy with her lifestyle of just like the Toys R Us job, her girls, the church life. Like she's so simple and forward and secure. Like what a great like character, you know?
This is I mean Kirsten Dunst coming off of what, a year and a half ago, Civil War,
Hmm.
and then this. I mean, these are two like back to back for me at least solid Kirsten Dunst performances.
Yeah, because in Civil War she has that jaded secureness about her, but in
Right.
this it's like that warm secureness, you know?
Yeah. Like
One of the biggest
there
laughs was when she asked if he was gay. That was one of like the biggest laughs.
that was funny. Yeah. That was funny. Um yeah, and like there's even that scene again where it gets a little tense where he's eating with the church and the one guy calls him out because Channing didn't like cover his tracks correctly with his wording.
Yes.
Something about Lee with work or so, I don't remember. And it even
It's
gets
something
like
about
it's a
like
moment.
he brings up how it's a good idea to like take some time off work after saying that it was safe. And then the guy was like, "Is it safe? Like, what do you mean by that?"
Right. And that scene again, the setting of it and how it starts is like just this communal dinner and
But you
whatnot.
feel the dark mask slipping. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, he's slowly slipping.
Mhm.
And I really liked him. Like I really just I really liked how this movie was making me feel.
I really liked it too. It was very upsetting, but it was very warm. And I even going back to the editing, I mentioned the editors before, but the scene where he pulls up to her house on Christmas about to go in, the way that's edited, the quietness of the editing
Yeah.
in that scene and how he's walking upstairs and everything. And I didn't fully know at that point that it was a setup. When he got about halfway up those steps, I verbally said out loud, "Oh my God, don't go upstairs. Do not go upstairs. Don't go to that door." And the guy in front of me started laughing. Because like as soon as I said like, "Oh my God," I think he then pieced it together in front of
Yeah.
me, and he was like, "Oh no!" Like we both like in that moment pieced together that it was a setup, and it was like, "Fuck," you know.
I really did think it was like when she said the girls want to see you, I was like, I felt like Seth Rogen in Pineapple Express. I was like, bullshit. I was like, but she's got to do it. I mean, she's got
And
to
that's
do
such
it.
like a classical storytelling element too.
It is.
But
Yeah.
it just works, and the fact that it's a true story, like I really want to dive deep into the like the life of Jeffrey Manchester, because what a fucking interesting individual this guy is.
I believe there's my client told me there's a documentary or something of this guy, and unfortunately, this guy is like really hopeful. He's like No, I'll like get out earlier than this. Like I don't know what he thinks. I guess the good behavior.
He is a
He's like really
hopeful
out.
like person though, and the fact that he even has like my only like one criticism of the film that I really have is I don't think all the narration sequences fully work, and I felt
Mhm.
this kind of at the end where he was like basically describing the point of the movie via the
Okay.
narration where he's like, oh, I just realized that I needed to give them more of me, my time.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
I was like, okay, like that's a little bit on the nose. Like that doesn't fully work for me, but the idea of just the
I
movie
didn't mind
itself
it
really
though.
works. No, I would have liked to see the narration being used more for his like clever brain. You
Yeah.
know, like
Okay.
that would have been more interesting, but you know, whatever. It's a very small element of the movie. Like his narration maybe breaks through like four times, so it's not really that big of a deal. But
Mm.
the movie as it stands alone, like it's a very solid, very one that sneaks up on you, full of like really led by two powerhouse like subtle performances by Channing and Kirsten Dunst. It's very good.
I agree. I mean, even just the moment in terms of like catching tension is, and just like in the very subtleties of it, is just when that one employee wants to talk to Peter Dinklage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no
Mm-hmm.
Channing Tatum or Kirsten Dunst in that scene, but like I felt that scene
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, "Come on, what is it? What is it?" And the guy just like,
Dude, Peter
I forgot
Dinklage is
what he
good at
said.
being an asshole.
He's so good in this.
Yes, he's so good.
Like, he's so good. And Ben Mendelsohn, who's usually a villain,
But yeah, but
is very warm.
Dinklage is good at being like an asshole manager without it coming off too cartoonish, you know? Like his character is
Mm,
such an asshole that it could have been cartoonish, but
okay. Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're
Like
right. Like over the top.
he
Yeah, it's
balances it very
tropey.
well. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Because he doesn't, he comes off like a dick, but he's not this like boisterous,
No,
like
no.
cigar, hey, stupid, fix those, you know? Like
Yeah.
he's being a manager who's working his ass off, and that's what he got lost in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's not, it doesn't feel like he's actually a bad guy. He's just a hard ass manager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I loved what he did. And yeah, when he walks out from the back when the die explodes, and he just very subtly like falls on the display of like Christmas gifts. Yeah, I was like, oh
You feel bad. Like that is that moment where that stuck "Come All Ye Faithfuls" playing and he's just looking at what he just did and you can just
yeah,
feel it in his heart. He's like, this is not who I am.
yeah. So I know they may have explained too much at the end, but did you still like that? I mean, they're just telling the true story. Like, did you like that ending?
I like the ending of them seeing each other in prison.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
did.
right. That's right.
I did because I think the fact that like the love between them was actually real is like the devastating nature of the story, and that being like the book end of it,
Yeah.
like that works really well.
Mm. No, I agree. Um,
Like she truly like did like love him. So when she was saying "I love you" on that phone, even if that was like a a pull in the trap, like I think she meant it. You know.
100%. And he doesn't one of them not say it, or does he say? I thought
Yeah,
there was
I think
a.
he may say it. Yeah, if my memory
He
serves
does.
me right, I think he does say it.
Okay, he does. All right. It's a shame because a movie like this, like I'm not saying like it should be in the top 10 for nominations, but like a movie like this won't get
It probably won't
like,
pick up too much traction. It's just one of those
yeah,
like sleeper, like surprise turns of the year where it's like, whoa, this movie could really sneak up on you if you let it, you know?
it'll be a movie that probably kills it on demand, like the
Hopefully.
streaming services. Like it,
I'm gonna tell people about this one. The issue with these movies is so many of the people in my life do not go to the theaters to see movies. And so I'll recommend them a movie when it comes out and then they end up forgetting about it when it comes to on demand.
yeah, and I mean, that's just how things are going now.
Hmm.
I mean, it's why people are like just less
Yeah.
like motivated to go, but yeah. Um, but it's a shame because I was even saying not just with enough people seeing it, but a movie like this is where I'm not saying like there's some glaring award it would get or should get, but it's like this is where I wish like even like the Academy wasn't all about movies with like the big cultural impacts or like these weird, or not weird, but whatever, these auteur films or these like a movie like Roofman won't get any love. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying it should be like the nominated for the film of the year, but like it just thinks that this movie won't get, I don't know, or like a movie like that
Yeah.
really won't get any sort of like love or recognition. Again, I don't even know what it would be nominated for. I'm just saying, like, there's movies like that. Like, I even get nervous. I'm going off topic here, but like, I'm like, is Weapons going to get any sort of like love?
No.
You know what I mean? It won't, but it should. Like there's these movies that just not Weapons
They
flying into the
deserve more
radar.
they deserve more eyes on them, and I think that's like one of the
Yeah,
perks of like doing this podcast is we could talk about these, like a movie like Roofman. Like I feel like most of the general audiences aren't gonna go see this, but this is a real like sneak up on you. Wow, it's fucking good, you know.
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Um, what did you think? I think did you get into the cinematography yet?
I basically did. I was more just talking about how like it uses really simple camera styles
Oh,
to
right. Okay, I'm
tell like
sorry.
a
Yeah,
you know a complex story, you know,
yeah, that's
and
right.
that
I'm sorry.
reminded
Yeah,
me of Succession.
that's right. Yeah, because it was the same. Okay, because
One of the
there
same
were
cinematographers. I mean, Succession has a lot of different cinematographers, but
some shots, but I didn't realize until now where it just kind of it does that like that pushing a couple times, right?
it does it during the choir scene on his face. It is a push, like a
Right.
zoom in
Okay,
and
that's
push
the
it on his
scene. Yeah,
face.
that's right.
I think it's a
Uh,
zoom in specifically. So
yeah, and it holds. It just goes. It like volleys back and forth between the two of them, and it was getting me. I was like, oh no, like it's all
it's
like,
dread. It's a
yeah.
straight dread.
And the way that they're just like singing during it, though, yeah. There's
hmm
so many scenes that have this yin and yang kind of
Yeah,
like feel to it.
that's a good example.
Yeah,
You have anything else you want to say?
not really, honestly. You summed up a good amount, and like I
Yeah,
said what I'd say. Like I really do like this movie.
me too.
And I do feel similar to like Caught Stealing. I like it better than Caught Stealing, but what sucks is like I feel like people definitely know more about this movie. Um, but I'm like, damn, this is another movie. Like, not again, we just talked about it, but like I hope it gets some word of mouth because like I want, especially these movies. I'd love for all most movies to succeed, but
hmm
especially for these to make their money. Like just more. I know it's based on a true story, but it's still like kind of original, like
Yeah, in
in
a
terms of like what
sense.
we get in the theaters, like more of these. Like I wish more of these, more word of
I'm
mouth, they can
loving
make
these
more
movies
money.
that are able to balance these tones, these different tones so well.
Yeah,
I feel like Weapons did that really well. I feel like Eddington did that really well. It's these movies that are like that feel like so many different movies in one, but are able to
yeah,
balance it properly.
yeah, 100%.
But really, what I think the secret thing about the secret sauce of this film is just how it sneaks up on you. You know,
A hundred percent.
it's there is this underlying sense of like doom and dread, but the way that that dread sneaks up on you is very interesting, and that's what really hooked me into the movie. Because at first I really couldn't connect. You know, kind of during the prologue of the movie, I wasn't connecting. Once you really learn what this movie's about, it becomes so much more interesting.
I would say the same thing. Like I don't know if I felt like disconnect from the movie, but in the beginning,
It wasn't
I
disconnection. I just wasn't. I didn't sink my teeth into anything yet.
no, I think like you're summing up how I felt because and not in a bad way, but I was just watching a movie. Like I was just like, okay, like, and then like it was the prison escape where I was like, whoa. I'm like, how's he getting out of here?
Yeah.
And then like that was one of those moments where again, like Catch Me If You Can, where the way because I'm like, he's drawing the lines in the sand, and I still can figure it out. Like, did you figure out how he was getting out? Because
No,
like as he was, because I was like,
not fully.
what is he doing?
It was really interesting.
And then the way that I'm like, oh fuck, holy shit! But just those little moments of even like the tension before the scene that you talking about, where he like goes around the truck, where the people put like the guards put those like reflective whatever like things under. I was like, oh, like I knew there he wasn't gonna get caught. I'm like, he's got to get out of here.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, oh shit!
It's
Like
crazy, man.
the scene that goes around the truck you talked about, that scene is tense, but it's also a bit funny to me.
Exactly. That's the tone. Like the way it's shot, it's almost a bit Looney Toony, but it's like,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it does have this sense of like tension to it. That again, that's just the balancing of the tones. I can't really speak to why it works. You just have to see it to believe it, type of
Yeah.
thing. You know.
Yeah, I agree. And soundtrack wise, it's just mainly just there's no real big like needle
There is a
drops, right?
score. It's by Christopher Bear, I think. But Nothing too stand out in terms
No,
of score.
nothing crazy.
No,
Right?
I
Okay.
mean it's not doing the heavy lifting here. No, like I
All
would
right.
say, like if you look at Tron Ares, I think that score is doing almost all the work. But
100%. Do you have anything else to say about this movie?
I know I just really, really recommend this one. Like there's one movie I want you to take away from of this month, and I recommend Smashing Machine too. But like Smashing Machine and Roofman, really big surprises
Yeah.
for me at least.
No, I agree, and it's heartbreaking that Smashing Machine is not making money.
It is, and that's a worry I have for this one too.
Yeah, it's just not making money.
So if there's anything I want to do with this podcast, it's just this is why I like this podcast. It's movies like these that I want to get out into the world, you know?
Yeah, 100. That's why I like telling people. People like ask me at work, like, "What'd you see?" Or they tell me that they saw my review.
Yeah, because we'll see the
our
big
review.
we'll see the big movies like Tron Ares that like, you know, like or like what everyone's thinking about. But then you have Roofman, which came out this weekend too, and it's like that's what you really should go see, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So, what is your Riff rating for this movie?
An 8.
I'm giving it an 8 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, did you stay? Did you stay and watch the post credits, the real life footage of the guy?
I watched some of it. I had to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
so I got out of there kind of
Oh,
quick.
gotcha.
But I did see.
Yeah. I do believe, I could be making this up. I believe I was told that there is a documentary out there.
I'd really be interested in watching that. I mean, I definitely wrote in my notes like what a odd and complex true story.
Yeah.
Going
But-
from like the roof of McDonald's to living in a Toys R Us to this like
I know when I would read
romance
about
and like identity thing. Oh, it's so interesting.
when I would read about it, I'd always have to like at first slow down. I'm like, wait, he robbed McDonald's but slept in the Toys R Us?
Yeah, 'cause
Like
the title is Roofman, but like majority of the plot's in the Toys R Us. So
exactly. When Peter Dinklage, there's always like a good what the fuck, and it's still Brolin of what the fuck of the year when he wakes up from his dream and weapons. But Dinklage is close.
there's actually 3 what the fucks I like. I like
What
the
there
Dinklage
is?
one.
What is the other one?
I like the Brolin one, and it's the Tim Meadows one in Peacemaker when he gets spit on.
That's it. I knew there was another one.
Yeah.
That's right. I knew there was another one. 100%. That's right. That's right. Yeah, but Dinklage when he finds it, even that scene.
It's
then-
funny, but it's tense. But how
It's-
smart was it that he opened the back door?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That was again him thinking just quickly. Again, I keep going back to it. There's so much Catch Me If You Can in this movie. I like Catch Me If You Can better. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's just so like this guy knows how to think on his feet.
Yes.
Or like the way he changes his outfits like as he's walking in the moment. Like when he escapes prison, I was like, oh shit, there's a sequence where Leo like switches, I believe. Like I think when he's the pilot, he just gets his stuff on, grabs the girls, and he blends right in. Like, you know, it just reminds me of like so much of that movie. That's why this is a movie I'll definitely rewatch when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is one I like when I get home from break. I'll show this one to like my family.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think
Yeah.
anyone this movie could sneak up and be enjoyed by almost anyone. You know, it's a very versatile movie. There's so many different things to pull from. You know, someone could really pull heavily from the comedy in the film. Someone could really pull heavy from like the tragic nature of the film. You know.
Yeah. No, 100%. So.
All right. Yeah, we're both at an 8, so we're very
Yep.
online with this one. But thank you guys for watching. Please leave a 5-star review wherever you're watching or listening. And, you know, word of mouth, everything's very important. But thank you guys so much for watching. And please go check out Roofman if you have not seen it. Please go see it in theaters.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye. Thanks for listening.